Welcome to IRA's online classes. Last session we discussed the rules on adjectives and adverbs. This session will go for an exercise on those two. We'll go for an exercise on adjectives and adverbs. We'll start with some fill-in-the-blank questions, then we'll move on to something on spotting the and sentence improvement. Come to the first one, understand the meaning and then think about the rule. Please give me dash more rice. I'm sorry, there isn't dash. There are two blanks given in the question. Please give me dash more rice. I'm sorry, there isn't dash. The first statement is please give me dash more rice. Please give me any more rice does not make sense. Every sentence must make sense. Please give me some more rice makes sense. Based on that, option 2 is eliminated. The answer is option 1. We'll see whether the rest of the sentence is completely fine or not. The rest is fine or not. I am sorry, there isn't any. There isn't any means there isn't any rice. The noun rice is understood here. We're not using it again just to avoid redundancy. So please give me some more rice. Makes sense. I'm sorry, there isn't any. That means there isn't any rice. Option 2 is gone. The answer must be option 1. The next one. A foolish student has dash care for his life. In this statement, we are talking about a foolish student. That means the sentence is negatively charged. If a sentence is negatively charged, the blank in the sentence must be filled with a negative word. If a sentence is positively charged, the blank in the sentence must be filled with a positive word. A foolish student has dash care for his life. This sentence is negatively charged. A little means nothing. Negative, we discussed it. A little means some, positive. This sentence is negatively charged. Based on that, a little is eliminated. The answer must be little. A foolish student has little care for his life means a foolish student has no care for his life. Little care means no care. The sentence is negatively charged. Makes sense. Student is a noun because of the article a. Foolish becomes an adjective. Right? Little care. Care is a noun. Little becomes an adjective. His life. Life is a noun because his is a possessive pronoun. Dash money he had was spent over his brother's education. The options are a little, the little. I told you while discussing adjectives, how to identify whether a noun in a sentence is general or specific. When there is no information given regarding a noun in a sentence, that noun is general. When there is some information given regarding a noun in a sentence, that noun is specific. General means a and an, specific means the. Now come to the statement. Dash money he had was spent over his brother's education. Money is a noun. In this sentence, we have some information given regarding the noun money, that is he had. Money he had. So he had is information given regarding the noun money. So in this case, the noun money must be taken as specific. Based on that, a little is eliminated. The answer must be the little. The little money he had was spent over his brother's education. Money is uncountable. A little, and the little are used with uncountable nouns. That concept is completely fine. The answer must be the little money. The little money he had was spent over his brother's education. Come to this one. Dash knowledge is a dangerous thing. This is a proverb. I told you earlier as well, proverbs, idioms and phrases cannot be questioned. Rules are not applicable on a proverb, an idiom or a phrase. Those are what are inherent in the language. You need to know proverbs by heart. Dash knowledge is a dangerous thing. The correct proverb must be a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Now if we want to go by the rule, we should not apply, but still, knowledge is a noun, uncountable. So little, a little, the little can be used with uncountable nouns. There is no information given regarding the noun knowledge here. Dash knowledge is a dangerous thing. There's no information given regarding the noun knowledge. So anyway, it cannot be taken as specific. So the little is eliminated. It must be a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. A little knowledge means some knowledge. The meaning is that some knowledge is a dangerous thing. Now, the meaning of this proverb is people who have got some knowledge will speak too much. They will not give a chance to others to speak. And they will be always understand that whatever they say is correct and whatever others say is wrong. So either you should have knowledge or you should not have knowledge. So a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Come next one. Just dash good books can make a man wise. Options are a few, the few. The noun here is books, countable. Few, a few and the few are used with countable nouns. That's completely fine. Just dash good books can make a man wise. We are not referring to any specific book or some specific books here. So it cannot be the few, it must be a few. And a few is the same as some. Just a few good books is the same as just some good books. Makes sense? The answer must be a few. Just a few good books can make a man wise. Dash years I spent in Darbhanga were not happy. The noun here is years. The options are a few, the few. Few years means no years. If I didn't spend years in Darbhanga, I can never say those years were not happy. I can say those years were not happy only if I spent days in Darbhanga. Few does not make sense, eliminate it. Now we have only one option left, the few. We got the answer. The few is specific. Years is a noun. We have some information given regarding the noun years here. Dash years I spent in Darbhanga. So years I spent in Darbhanga. I spent in Darbhanga is the information given regarding the noun years. So noun years, the noun years must be taken as specific here. So the few is specific. The few years I spent in Darbhanga were not happy. Were not happy means the days were not happy. The years were not happy. According to students, the word happy is referring to years. Happy years. Here, unhappy years. I have read almost dash book I had. All book is the wrong usage. It must be all books. Based on that, all is eliminated. The answer must be every. With every, with indefinite pronouns, the noun will be singular. Like every book, every man, every pen, every pencil, every car, every bike, every boy, every girl. Similarly, every book is a correct usage. I have read almost every book I had. Dash guest came to see him this evening, but he saw only dash. But is a contrast indicator. Must always connect one positive idea and one negative idea, undoubtedly. Dash guest came to see him, positive, this evening, but he saw only dash, negative. The first idea must be positive, the second idea must be negative. The first blank anyway says a lot of. So that's completely fine. A lot of guests. A lot of guests is the same as lots of guests. We told you. We discussed it. I told you that. A lot of is the same as lots of. A lot of guests came to see him this evening. Positively charged. The second idea must be negatively charged. But he saw dash. The noun here is guess. Countable. A little is used with uncountable nouns. Based on that, option 2 is eliminated. A few is used with countable nouns. So this is completely fine. Only a few means only some. Only a few is negatively charged. If I say, now a few is positive. There are few students in the class. Few is negative, a few is positive. There are few students in the class means there are no students in the class. Negative. There are a few students in the class means there are some students in the class. Negative. There are only a few students in the class means there are only some students in the class. Negative. Got it? I have little money means I have no money. Negative. I have a little money means I have some money. Positive. I have only a little money means I have only some money. Negative. So only a few is negative, but is a contrast indicator. The first idea is positive, the second idea is negative. That is completely fine. The noun here is guess, countable. A little is used with uncountable nouns. Based on that, a little is eliminated. The answer must be a few. And a few is used with countable nouns. Guess is a countable noun. Come on, next one. Jayaji is inferior dash Gangadhar in intelligence. Options are to, than. We have discussed this rule in pronouns and adjectives. ER words and more words. Comparative degree adjectives will be followed by than. OR words will be followed by to. Inferior is an OR word. OR words cannot be followed by than. OR words will be followed by to. So Jayaji is inferior to Gangadhar in intelligence. Her dash daughter lives in New York. Options are older, elder. Older can be used when we compare two entities. It's a comparative degree adjective. Like, he is older than she. Two entities are here. He is one entity, she is another entity. He is older than she, he is older than her is wrong. I told you this. ER words or more words followed by than and a subjective pronoun. She is subjective. So he is older than she. So older can be used only when we draw a comparison between two entities. Her dash daughter lives in New York. Only one person is talked about here. Based on that, older is eliminated. The answer must be elder. Her elder daughter lives in New York. Elder shows the degree or the order in which the sisters appear according to the age. The eldest daughter, right? The youngest. We can use eldest only when there are more than two daughters. The eldest daughter. Youngest can be used only when there are more than two daughters. Youngest daughter, eldest daughter. Only if two daughters are there means elder daughter, younger daughter. So her elder daughter lives in New York. This is the dash mosque in the town. Eldest, oldest. Eldest is used when we refer to persons. We are talking about mosque here, not persons. Eliminated. It must be oldest. Oldest is a superlative degree adjective. We can use a superlative degree adjective when we refer to the highest level entity in a group. What's a group here? The town is a group here. We're talking about the highest level entity. Superlative degree adjective, grammatically correct. This is the oldest mosque in the town. Until dash orders, you act as principal of the college. The options are further, farther. Further means the next step, the next level. Farther refers to distance. Farther and nearer refer to distance. Farther refers to the long distance, nearer refers to the short distance. And further means the next level, the next step. Right? Until dash orders, you act as principal of the college. No distance is talked about in the paragraph. Based on that, farther is eliminated. It must be further. That means until next orders, or until the next step, next decision, you act as the principal. You act as principal of the college. Now here we have two ideas denoting time. Till that time we go for some more orders. You act as principal of the college. So we have two ideas denoting time. So we have to use until. What we discussed in conditional sentences, that concept is completely fine. Until further orders, until the next decision is taken. Until further orders, you act as principal of the college. She was sitting dash to him. The meaning is beside him, right? Near him. Nearest is eliminated. It's a superlative degree adjective. Answer must be next. A superlative degree adjective can be used when we refer to the highest level entity in a group. There's something like group here. The meaning of the statement is you are sitting beside him. Beside means next to, nearby, adjacent to. That's the meaning. So she was sitting next to him. What is the dash score? The options are last, latest. Last can be used only when there are more than two entities. If I say you and I, only two of us, both of us, you and I are taking part in a running race. You reached first. I reached second or I reached last. I reached second. But because as I said, last can be used only when there are more than two entities. there's no mention about more than two entities in this statement. It cannot be last, it must be latest. Latest means a recent score. What is the latest score? Ashok and Raman are friends, but the former is better than dash. Now Ashok and Raman are good friends, but the former is better than dash. The former means the person who is talked about first or mentioned first. The latter means the person who is talked about second. We have two persons talked about here, Ashok and Raman. The person who is talked about first is Ashok. So Ashok becomes the former here. And the person who is talked about second is Raman. So Raman becomes latter here. Latter here is Raman, former here is Ashok. Ashok and Raman, the person who is talked about first is Ashok. So Ashok becomes the former. The person who is talked about second is Raman. So Raman becomes the latter. Now there's nothing like the former and the later. Later means like in the future. Does not fit this sentence, does not fit in this sentence at all. So Ashok and Raman are good friends, but the former is better than the latter. That means Ashok is better than Raman. Better is a comparative degree adjective. We can use a comparative degree adjective only when we draw a comparison between two entities. Two persons are compared here. One is Ashok and the other one is Raman. That concept is completely fine. Comparative degree adjectives will be followed by than. Better is a comparative degree adjective followed by than. That is also fine. Now the statement is grammatically correct. Come next one. There are no dash than 50 students present. We have discussed this rule. The options are fewer, less. Less can be used in the case of quantity. Less milk, less rain and all. Less is used when a sentence talks about quantity. This sentence doesn't talk about quantity. This sentence talks about number. 50 students in the sense that sentence is talking about number. Number in the sense it is countable. Countable means we have to go for few, a few and all. So number in the sense countable. Countable means few, a few, the few and all. In this statement we have than. Than will be preceded by an ER word or more word. As we're talking about number, countable, it must be few. Than is there, so than must be preceded by an ER word or more word. So few becomes fewer. There are no fewer than 50 students present. Come to the next one. We'll go for something on spotting the error. These days, now identify which part contains error. There's no error, the answer must be the last option, saying no error. These days, job opportunities are not as better as they used to be in the early 70s. These days, these is a demonstrative pronoun. This, that, these, those. This and that are singular, so the noun along with this and that must also be singular. These and those are plural, so the noun along with these and those must also be plural. These days, these is a plural pronoun. Days is a plural noun, so that concept is completely fine. The concept regarding demonstrative pronouns is completely fine. These days, job opportunities are not as better as. Now, as better as is as dashes. I have told you this rule while discussing pronouns. As dash as, so dashes. As dash as, so dashes. This blank must be filled with an adjective. And the adjective that comes in this blank must be in the positive degree. As, good is a positive degree adjective. As bad is positive degree. As intelligent is a positive degree adjective. As innocent is positive. As beautiful is positive. As handsome is positive. So blank that comes here, the adjective that comes in this blank must be in the positive degree. Better is a comparative degree adjective. We cannot have a cannot have a comparative degree here. We must have a positive degree here. That is the error. It cannot be as better as, it must be as good as. The error is in part B. The correct sentence must be, these days job opportunities are not as good as they used to be in the early 70s. Job opportunities. Opportunities is a noun. What kind of opportunities? The answer is job opportunities. What kind of opportunities? Job opportunities. So word job describes opportunities. Opportunity is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So job becomes an adjective. Getting it? There is in part B. Come next one. In that wholesale shop, they do not sell fewer than 10 bags of rice. In that wholesale shop, that is a demonstrative pronoun. This, that, these, those, singular. So noun along with it must also be singular. That wholesale shop. Shop is a singular noun, so that concept is completely fine. They do not sell. It's always do plus V1 plural. Do not sell, instead of do, it is do not. Do not is do plus V1 plural. That is also completely fine. Up to here, no error. They sell fewer than 10 bags of rice. Rice is uncountable, but bags of rice are countable. 1 bag of rice, 2 bags of rice, 3 bags of rice. Rice is uncountable, bag of rice is countable. Fewer than, so bags of rice, 10 bags of rice. Anyway, 10 is there, so countable. Fewer can be used with countable nouns. That is completely fine. Than is there. As it is countable, we have to use few, the few. Than is there, as I told you earlier. Than will be preceded by an ER word or more word. So few becomes fewer. Fewer than is also a correct usage. Countable, fewer is used. Than is preceded by ER word or ER word followed by than. That is also fine. There is no error in this statement. In that wholesale shop, they do not sell fewer than 10 bags of rice. Come on, next one. A great many students have been declared successful. We have discussed this as a separate rule in subject-verb agreement under the topic determiners. Many great students is a correct usage. And many great students is the same as many a great student. So a great many student is a wrong usage. We got the answer. The error is in part A. Now here, many great students, correct usage. And many great students is the same as many a great student. Many great student is the same as many a great student. So many is a determiner, forget about it. Great students plural, verb must also be plural, have. Many a great student, many is a determiner, forget about it. The noun here is a great student, singular, verb must also be singular, has. Now my question is, in this case, it must be many great students or many a great student. That is my question. The error is in part A, undoubtedly. The verb here is have, plural. If the verb is plural, the subject must also be plural. So in this case, it cannot be many a great student. It must be many great students. Many great students have been declared successful. Many great students have been declared successful. The error is in part A. Getting it? Right. Come to the next one. In his old age, a person is likely to get more weak day by day. In his old age, age is a noun, old becomes an adjective. Age is a noun because his is a possessive pronoun. A person is likely to get more weak day by day. We discussed in adjectives. Weak is an adjective. More is used with the adjectives to which er cannot be added. Weak is an adjective. We can add er to weak and make it weaker. Weak, weaker, weakest. So in this context, more weak becomes a wrong usage. That is the error. The error is in part C. In fact, the correct sentence must be, in his old age, a person is likely to get weaker day by day. In his old age, a person is likely to get weaker day by day. The error is in part C. The next one. The water in the canal was much more higher than usual. Higher is a comparative degree adjective. Higher itself is an ER word, comparative degree adjective. So if I say more higher, it becomes an error with redundancy. That is the error. The error is in part B. In fact, more is not required in this statement. The water in the canal was much higher than usual. Higher is a comparative degree adjective. Comparative degree adjectives will be followed by than. That is also fine. Now the sentence is grammatically correct. Was much more higher. Higher is an adjective. Comparative degree adjective. How higher? Much higher. That means the word much describes higher. Higher is an adjective. Any word that describes an adjective is called an adverb. So in this sentence, much becomes an adverb. Getting it? Come to the next one. Since the situation is going out of control, the government wants to take the most extreme step of calling in army to deal with the situation. Since the situation is going out of control, the government wants to take the most extreme step. Extreme itself refers to a specific level. So if I say most extreme, it becomes an error with redundancy. That is the answer. The error is in part B. So since the situation is going out of control, the government wants to take the extreme step of calling in army to deal with the situation. The extreme step. Step is a noun here because of the article the. Extreme becomes an adjective. The two first to arrive were the lucky recipients of a surprise gift. Now, in this sentence, there is an error with word order. The order in which the words are arranged. There's a topic by name modifiers. We'll go for this topic in detail later. This topic modifiers is all about word order. This topic modifiers will help us in the case of sentence improvement, spotting the error, to identify the error in a sentence, reading comprehension, close test, fill in blank questions to understand the meaning of every sentence. This topic matters in the case of writing as well. This is one of the topics that appear in writing skills. We'll discuss that in detail. It's all about word order. The two first is a wrong usage. It must be the first two. The first two to arrive. The two first chapters is wrong. It is the first two chapters. The two first girls is wrong. It must be the first two girls. So the two first to arrive is wrong. It must be the first two to arrive. We got the answer. There is regarding the concept of word order. Error is in part A. Come to the remaining part of the statement. The two first to arrive were the lucky recipients of a surprise gift. Recipients, the word recipients is a noun here because the is an article. The lucky recipients, the word lucky is describing recipients. Recipients is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So the word lucky becomes an adjective. Of a surprise gift, gift is a noun because of the article a. Surprise gift in the sense, the word surprise describes gift. Gift is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So the word surprise becomes an adjective. The first two to arrive. Arrive is a verb here because it's always 2 plus V1 plural. Getting it? The next one. A few words of gratitude are enough to express your feelings sincerely. A few boy, a few girl, a few book, a few pen, all these are wrong. A few pens, a few books, a few boys, a few girls. So a few word is a wrong usage. It must be a few words. The error is in part A. A few words of gratitude are enough. Now I go for a blank here. dash enough, this blank must be filled with a verb. We have two nouns before the verb. One is a few words and the other one is gratitude. Two nouns before the verb. Which rule? Eliminating the middleman. What we discussed in subject-verb agreement. You have to eliminate the noun that comes in the middle of the sentence. The noun that comes in the middle is gratitude, so eliminate gratitude. Now we have only one noun left. Words, plural. Verb must also be plural. A few is a determiner. Forget about it. The noun here is words, plural. Verb must also be plural. Are enough to express your feelings sincerely. Express is a verb here because it's always 2 plus V1 plural. Expresses is singular. Express is plural, infinitive. Express your feelings sincerely. Feelings is a noun here because your is a possessive pronoun. Now my question is, what is a part of speech of sincerely? Adjective or adverb? That's my question. If sincerely is describing feelings, it must be an adjective because feelings is a noun. But understand the meaning. A few words of gratitude are enough to express your feelings sincerely means, according to the sentence, the word sincerely is not describing feelings, the word sincerely is describing express. To express your feelings sincerely, expressing sincerely, the word sincerely is describing express. Express is a verb here. Any word that describes a verb is called an adverb. Ly words adverb. Since adverbs, sincerely becomes an adverb. Getting it? Come to the next one. There is not many traffic along the street where I live. We have discussed it. Little, a little and much are used with uncountable nouns. Few, a few and many are used with countable nouns. Come to the statement once again. There is not many traffic. The noun here is traffic, which is uncountable. There's nothing like there are many traffics on the road. There's a heavy traffic on the road. So traffic is a noun here, uncountable. Many is used with countable nouns. That is the error here. The error is in part A. In fact, the correct sentence must be, there is not much traffic along the street where I live. There is not much traffic along the street where I live. Come to the next one. Much traffic. Traffic is a noun. Much becomes an adjective here. Much traffic. Much describes traffic, which is a noun. So any word describing a noun is called an adjective. The next one. He is the most intelligent and also the very talented student of the college. We have a group here, that is the college. And when a group is mentioned, which degree adjective is required? A superlative degree adjective is required. He is the most intelligent. Most intelligent is a superlative degree adjective. So up to here, there's no error in part A. And also the very talented student. Very talented is not a superlative degree adjective. As a group is mentioned in this statement, we need superlative degree adjectives here. Very talented is not a superlative degree adjective. That is the error. The error is in part B. The correct sentence must be, he is the most intelligent and also the most talented student of the college. Intelligent is an adjective. We cannot add st to it. So to make it superlative, we have to add most. So most intelligent becomes a superlative degree adjective. Similarly, talented is also an adjective. We cannot add st to talented. So add most to it. Most talented becomes a superlative degree adjective. So that concept is also completely fine. He is the most intelligent and also the most talented student of the college. The next one. Can you tell me how many eggs and milk he has bought? Question mark. How many eggs and milk? Many is used with countable nouns. Eggs is a countable noun. So how many eggs is a correct usage. And milk. Milk is uncountable. How many eggs and milk means how many is referring to eggs and milk. How many is used with countable nouns. How many can refer to eggs because eggs is a countable noun. How many cannot refer to milk because milk is uncountable. Milk is an uncountable noun. That is the error. The error is in part C. Up to here, no error. Can you tell me how many eggs? No error. And milk, then part C contains the error. The correct sentence must be, can you tell me how many eggs and how much milk he has bought? Can you tell me how many eggs and how much milk he has bought? Now the whole statement is grammatically correct. Interrogative sentence. This is an embedded question. I told you this, I guess. Embedded question. Embedded question means two questions in a single sentence. I told you this. Two questions in a single sentence. Can you tell me is one question? He has bought is the other one. When there are two questions in a single sentence, the first idea, the first one must be in the interrogative form. Interrogative form means the auxiliary verb must come before the noun or pronoun. So first one must be in the interrogative form. The second one must not be in the interrogative form. The second one must not be in the interrogative form means the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. So in the case of an embedded sentence, when you find two questions in a single sentence, this must be the rule. The first idea must be in the interrogative form. That means the auxiliary verb must come before the noun or pronoun. The second idea must not be in the interrogative form. That means the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. We'll see whether this concept is fine here. We have two questions in a single sentence here. Can you tell me is the first idea. You is the pronoun here. Can is the auxiliary verb. The auxiliary verb is coming before the pronoun. The first idea is in the interrogative form. Completely fine. The second idea must not be in the interrogative form. That means the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. Come to the second one. He has bought. He is the pronoun here. Has is the auxiliary verb. The auxiliary verb is coming after the pronoun. The second idea is not in the interrogative form. So this is an embedded sentence. Two questions in a single sentence. The first idea must be in the interrogative form. The auxiliary verb must come before the noun or pronoun. The same is happening here. So first idea is completely fine. The second idea must not be in the interrogative form. That means the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. He has bought. The auxiliary verb is coming after the pronoun. That is also completely fine. The concept regarding embedded question or embedded sentence is completely fine. This sentence now is grammatically correct. Getting it? Come to the next one. Whenever a man attains fame, his person qualities are imitated by others who are close to him. Whenever a man attains fame, his person qualities is a noun because his is a possessive pronoun. Person is also a noun actually. Now, his dash qualities, I go for a blank here. His dash qualities, that blank is describing qualities. Qualities is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So this blank must be filled with an adjective. Person is not an adjective. Person is a noun. This is the error. The error is in part B. Now the correct sentence must be his personal qualities. Person is a noun. Personal is an adjective. So qualities is a noun, personal becomes an adjective here. The error in the given statement is in part B. Now come to sentence once again. Whenever a man attains fame, what a man attains, the answer is fame. So we're getting the answer to the question what as fame. So fame becomes a noun here. His personal qualities are imitated by others who are close to him. Come to the next one. Mumbai is further from Delhi than Patna. I told the difference between further and farther. Further means the next step or the next level. Farther refers to distance. Now understand the meaning of the sentence. Mumbai is further from Delhi than Patna. This sentence is talking about the distance between Mumbai and Delhi. And Mumbai and Delhi, Mumbai is it's going to be further from Delhi than Patna means Mumbai, the sentence talks about distance between Mumbai and Delhi, Mumbai and Patna. So we cannot use further here. We have to use farther. That is the error. The error is in part B. Mumbai is farther from Delhi than Patna. Farther is a comparative degree adjective followed by than. That concept is completely fine. Now this statement is grammatically correct. The next one. The faster he completes the work given to him, the largest will be his profit. We have two ideas here. The first idea is the faster he completes the work given to him. The second idea is the largest will be his profit. The first idea contains a comparative degree adjective. So second idea must also contain a comparative degree adjective. We have two situations here. We cannot go for a superlative degree adjective because there's no group here. As we have two situations here, we have to go for a comparative degree adjective. That is the error. It cannot be largest, it must be larger. The faster he completes the work given to him, the larger will be his profit. Two situations here, comparative degree adjective. The error is in part C. Come to the next one. This young lady is more beautiful but not so cultured as her sister. This young lady, this is a demonstrative pronoun, singular. The noun along with it must also be singular. Lady is a singular noun. That concept is completely fine. This young lady is more beautiful. More beautiful is a comparative degree adjective. Comparative degree adjectives will be followed by than. In this statement, in part B, more beautiful is not followed by than. That is the error. The error is in part B. From here, it's completely fine. But not so cultured as her sister. Now in this sentence, in fact, more beautiful. A comparative degree adjective is not required. It can be just like this. This young lady is beautiful, but not so cultured as her sister. It's completely fine. This young lady is beautiful, but not so cultured as her sister. But is a contrast indicator. Must always connect one positive idea and one negative idea. The idea before but is this young lady is beautiful, positive. The idea after but is not so cultured as a sister, negative. So concept of contrast indicator is completely fine, connecting one positive idea and one negative idea. And the error in this statement is in part B. Come to the next one. This photograph was comparatively better than that which he had kept in his purse. Better itself is a comparative degree adjective. So if you say comparatively better, it becomes an error with redundancy. The error is in part B. Now in this sentence, in fact, the word comparatively is not required. This photograph was better than that which he had kept in his purse. This is a demonstrative pronoun, singular. Photograph is a singular noun. That concept is completely fine. Was better than that. Better is a comparative degree adjective followed by than, completely fine. I told you we should not draw a comparison between two entirely different entities. A comparison should be brought about between two similar entities. Understand the meaning. This photograph was better than that. That is a pronoun antecedent. Every pronoun must refer to a noun before it. The pronoun that here refers to the noun photograph. We are not using the noun photograph again just to avoid redundancy. This photograph was better than that. That means the photograph which he had kept in his purse. So two entities getting compared here. One is this photograph. The other one is a photograph which he had kept in his purse. Completely fine. Now the whole statement is grammatically correct. Come to the next one. Many boys are absent today. You know this, the rule regarding determiners that we discussed in subject-verb agreement. Many boys is the correct usage, and many boys is the same as many a boy. Many a boys is a wrong usage because a and can be used only with singular countable nouns. Boys is a plural noun, so many a boys is wrong usage. We know that the sentence is grammatically wrong. Now my question is, the error is in part A or part B. Many is a correct usage. Many can be followed by a. Then if I say boys, part B doesn't go with part A, so error is in part B. In fact, there are two errors in part B. Many a boys is a wrong usage. It must be many a boy. Many a boy in the sense, many is a determiner. Forget about it. The noun here is a boy, singular. And if the noun is singular, the verb must also be singular. Are is plural, so it cannot be are, it must be is. There are two errors in part B. So many a boy is absent today. And that's the same as many boys are absent today. The same meaning expressed in two different forms. The next one. My all friends will come tomorrow to meet me. You know this. My all friends is an error with word order. My all books is wrong, it must be all my books. My all bikes is wrong, it must be all my bikes. Similarly, my all friends is wrong, it must be all my friends. This is an error with word order. As I said, we'll go for word order in detail in the topic modifiers. All my friends will come tomorrow to meet. The next one. Ramayana is more sacred than all the mythologies of Hindus. More sacred than. More sacred is a comparative degree adjective. All the mythologies of Hindus refers to a group. We cannot go for a group in the case of a comparative degree adjective. We have a comparative degree adjective here going from the left to the right. We have to find out that part that contains here. It's always going from the left to the right. You know really well. No one will read from the right to the left. Ramayana is more sacred than. Till here or up to here there is no error. Then if I say all the mythologies of Hindus, part C doesn't go with the rest of the sentence, so the error is in part C. Now in fact, the correct sentence must be Ramayana is more sacred than any other mythology. Any other mythologies is a wrong usage. I told you in detail with examples in adjectives, in the topic adjectives. Any other mythology of Hindus. Ramayana is more sacred than any other mythology of Hindus. More sacred is a comparative degree adjective. The two entities getting compared here are, one is Ramayana and the other one is any other mythology. These are the two entities getting compared. More sacred is a comparative degree adjective followed by than. That is also fine. Now this sentence is grammatically correct. Come to the next one. The manager wanted to know who had arrived early that day, the cashier or the accountant. We have two persons talked about here. One is the cashier and the other one is the accountant. Two persons are here. As two entities are here, we have to go for a comparative degree adjective. The adjective in the given statement is early. Early is a positive degree adjective. The comparative degree of early is earlier. The superlative degree is earliest. It's early, earlier, earliest. As two entities are talked about in this statement, we need a comparative degree adjective, not a positive degree adjective. So that is the error. The error is in part B. So the correct sentence must be, the manager wanted to know who had arrived earlier that day, the cashier or the accountant. Who had arrived earlier that day, the cashier or the accountant. Clear? Come to the next one. These errors are made by foreigners. This is a demonstrative pronoun, singular. So a noun along with must also be singular. We discussed it so many times. Errors is a plural noun. With this, we cannot use a plural noun. That is the error. We got the answer. The error is in part A. Now, this error is a correct usage. This is a singular pronoun. Error is a singular noun. These errors is also a correct usage. These is a plural pronoun. Errors is a plural noun. Both are correct. Now my question is, in this case, in this sentence, it must be this error or these errors. Anyway, the error is in part A. We know that. So in this context, it must be this error or these errors. That is my question. Come to the rest of the sentence. Are made. The noun, the verb here is are, plural. If the verb is plural, the subject must also be plural. So in this context, it cannot be this error because it's singular. It must be these errors. So correct statement must be these errors are made by foreigners. Getting it? The next one. Some people get used to changes very easily than others. Than will be preceded by an ER word or more word, a comparative degree adjective. Easily is not a comparative degree adjective. Easily is a positive degree adjective. Comparative degree is more easily, superlative is most easily. So some people get used to changes more easily than others. The error is in part C. Come to next one. I am better adapted to the climate than you. I am better adapted to the climate than you. Two persons are talked about here. One is I, the other one is you. So we have to go for a comparative degree adjective, undoubtedly. The adjective in the statement is adapted. Adapted is a positive degree adjective. The comparative degree of adapted is more adapted. We cannot add ER to adapted. So we have to add more to it. So more adapted becomes a comparative degree adjective. ST cannot be added to adapted. So make it superlative. To make it superlative, we have to add most to it. So most adapted becomes a superlative degree adjective. Adapted is a positive degree adjective. More adapted is comparative degree. Most adapted is superlative degree. So better adapted is a wrong usage. It must be more adapted. Because the comparative degree form of adapted is more adapted. There's nothing in English like better adapted. If ER cannot be added to an adjective, we have to add more to it to make it comparative. So I am more adapted to the climate than you. More adapted is a comparative degree adjective followed by than. Two entities are there. The meaning of this statement is you are adapted to the climate. I am more adapted to the climate. That's the meaning of this statement. The error in this sentence is in part A. Clear? Come to the next one. No student are as intelligent as Priya. No student, forget about no. The noun here is student, singular. The verb must also be singular. Are is a plural verb, subject, verb agreement. It cannot be are, it must be is. No student is as intelligent as Priya. As intelligent is as dash s. As dash s, the blank must be filled with a positive degree adjective. Intelligent is a positive degree adjective. That concept is completely fine. We are drawing a relationship between two entities here. One is no student, the other one is Priya. As dash s is used to draw a relationship between two entities. We discussed in pronouns. That is also completely fine. Now the whole statement is grammatically correct. No student is as intelligent as Priya. Come on, next one. Though my father spent a lot of money on education, he refused to give us no pocket money. He refused to give us no pocket money becomes an error with redundancy. Refused and no. So the error is in part C. No is not required here. He refused to give us pocket money. Now, though is a contrast indicator. It must connect one positive idea and one negative idea. The first side is my father spent a lot of money on education, positively such. The second idea is he refused to give us pocket money. He refused to give us pocket money, negatively such. Now he refused to give us no pocket money means he gave us pocket money. A contrast indicator can never connect two positive ideas. So anyway, based on redundancy or double negation, I can say there is in part C. Though my father spent a lot of money on education, he refused to give us pocket money. Education is a noun here. One reason is ION word. The other reason is our education. Our is a possessive pronoun, and after every possessive pronoun comes a noun. Come to the next one. The old man felled some of the trees in the garden with hardly no effort at all. Now felled means cut. Right? Felled means cut. If I say V1, V2, V3. V1, V2 means, V3 means like the present form, the past form, the past participle form. Feel is V1, felt is V2, felt is V3. It's feel, felt, felt. Fall is V1, to fall down. Fell is V2, fallen is V3. It's fall, fell, fallen. Then V1 fell. This fell is different from this fell. This is a V2 of fall. This is V1 fell, meaning to cut. Fell a tree means cut a tree. V2 of fell is felled, F-E-L-L-E-D. V3 is also felled, F-E-L-L-E-D. So feel is felt, felt. Fall is fell, fallen. Then V1 fell, meaning to cut. V2 is felt, V3 is also felt. That is what this sentence talks about. This one. The old man felled some of the trees means cut some of the trees. That's the meaning. The old man felled some of the trees in the garden with hardly no effort at all. Hardly no effort at all becomes an error with redundancy. Hardly and no convey the same meaning. So the error is in part C. No is not required at all actually. Or we can remove hardly also. Can be in two ways. The old man felled some of the trees in the garden with no effort at all. Completely fine. Or the old man felled some of the trees in the garden with hardly any effort at all is also completely fine. There's no need for us to frame the correct answer. Your task is applying the rules, just find out the answer. That's the only thing you need to do. Come to the next one. It was very unfortunate that he died at the early age of 41. We discussed this rule in conjunctions. Very cannot be followed by that. So will be followed by that. And if I change part 2, then it was very unfortunate. The sentence cannot be framed in any other way. So undoubtedly, when you correct a mistake, the whole statement must be grammatically correct. So in this case, the error is in part A. It cannot be very, it must be so. It was so unfortunate that he died at the early age of 41. If I change part 2, it was very unfortunate, then we cannot frame the sentence in any other way. So to make the whole statement grammatically correct, we can change only one part, and that part is part 1 in this sentence. It was so unfortunate that he died at the early age of 40. Clear? The same idea can be framed in the 2-2 form. He was too unfortunate to die at the early age of 41. He was too unfortunate to die at the early age of 41 is also completely fine. 2 is followed by 2. Come to the next one. The taxi driver who had come to receive us at the airport was speaking fluently French. Error with word order. Speaking fluently French is wrong. Was speaking French fluently. The taxi driver who had come to receive us at the airport was speaking French fluently. There is in part C. It's actually just word order. Was speaking French fluently. According to the sentence, the word fluently is describing speaking. Speaking is a verb. Speaking French fluently. Fluently is not describing French. Understand the meaning? Was speaking French fluently. The word fluently is describing speaking. Speaking is a verb here. Was plus V1 plus ing. Any word that describes a verb is called an adverb. So fluently becomes an adverb. The taxi driver. Driver is a noun here because of the article the. Taxi driver in the sense, the word taxi is describing driver. Driver is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So taxi becomes an adjective. Come to the next one. Hard had he thrown the ball when it fell on the ground. It cannot be hard, it must be had, hardly. We discussed the rule regarding hardly sentences in conjunctions, in the topic conjunctions. Hardly had subject V3 followed by when, or hardly did subject V1 plural followed by when. Had he thrown Had plus subject is he, thrown is V3, followed by when. So it cannot be hard, it must be hardly. Hardly had he thrown the ball when it fell on the ground. Now we'll see whether the structure is completely fine or not. Hardly had, subject is he, thrown is V3, followed by when. When it fell on the ground, it is the subject here, fell is V2 here. The V2 of fall. Hardly had he thrown the ball when it fell on the ground, completely fine. Fell is V2. Hardly had he thrown the ball when it fell on the ground. The same idea in the hardly did form becomes hardly, I'll say structure once again, hardly did subject V1 plural followed by when. So hardly did he throw the ball when it fell on the ground. Hardly did he throw is V1 plural. Hardly did he throw the ball when it fell on the ground. That is also completely fine. The same meaning, the only thing is expressed in two different forms. In the given statement, there is in part A. Getting it?